Okay, great. So I'm recording the call now. So this is a training session for Honest Mary's using Menuboard Manager, which is our content management system, which you will use in your Chrome browser, preferably. It's actually the only supported browser. It may work in other browsers, but Chrome is definitely the supported browser. Menuboard Manager is a cloud-based content management system. You can access it from anywhere, and you can manage all of your stores, from one user interface. So to get to Menuboard Manager, you just go to menuboardmanager.com and click the login link at the top, and that will prompt you for a username and password, which will send you those credentials at the end of this meeting so you can log in. When you log into Menuboard Manager, you're presented with the Finder page. The Finder is where you manage all your files and folders. Okay, it's very much like Google Drive, and you can create files and nest them in folders. You can create as many folders and as you like. You could have if Honest Mary's has the same menu at every location, you could have one folder like this that says Honest Mary's and build one sign and deploy all of the signs to all the locations. And if you have different prices at each location or different menus at each location, then typically you would have like an Honest Mary's Cedar Park folder, a Burnett Road folder, an Arboretum folder, and you'd have them all separate. Since this is the first store, just have an Honest Mary's folder. Maybe at some point you'd rename this to Honest Mary's Cedar Park, and then when you do another store, you could simply duplicate that folder, rename it Burnett Road, and rename the presentations and the signs accordingly. When you log in, you'll see at the top here you have the 9 dots. So Menuboard Manager is a suite of applications. At this time, you have a pretty limited view. Just to simplify things to get you started, really all you need to access at this point are the content manager and perhaps groups, but primarily the content manager. And the content manager is the default application when you log in. Okay, so then we have a folder here with Honest Mary's. If I double click on that, it'll go into that folder, and then in that folder you'll see Cedar Park folder, right? Which this is the folder you'd actually duplicate if you're going to open another store at Burnett Road, for example. You duplicate the Cedar Park folder and rename it. And then if I double click on that, you'll go into the Cedar Park folder, and you'll see inside of the Cedar Park folder, you have 4 signs. See file type here, 4 signs. And then each sign would have a presentation. A sign could have multiple presentations. For example, if you serve breakfast, you could have a breakfast presentation and switch it to lunch at a certain time of day. I don't think Honest Mary's does that. They have a static menu all day long. So we have the 4 signs here and the 4 presentations. You can also see there's a price sheet, which would be used for dynamic text. I think for the purposes of today, we'll just deal with graphic menus, but it is possible to make dynamic text on the presentations, which would enable you to have different fields for inputting prices for the menus that would be dynamic, and you could just literally come in and type a new price in and it would update on the menu rather than having to go back to your graphics files. Okay, so the sign is the top level of the hierarchy here in Menuboard Manager. If I double click on a sign, it'll open the sign page. So you can see here, this is Honest Mary's menu 1. What we always do is we install the menu boards in an array, 1, 2, 3, 4. From left to right would be 1, then 2, then 3, and then 4. That's our standard way of configuring. And so at the top level here and on the sign page, you see that we have one presentation in here called Menu 1. And this over here on the right-hand side is a quick view of what's in that presentation. We haven't had the graphic files until now, so there's really nothing in there. But to dive into the presentation, you can click on the presentation name or any of these layers. So let's go to the playlist layer. I'll double click on playlist. And you see here we have a blank presentation. The presentation essentially consists of these tabs across the top. Every presentation is going to have a media playlist, which would be the graphic file that would be on the background. And of course, in a very basic menu, you could have one JPEG as your background image, and that could be the entire presentation without any other fancy fields or anything like that. So to upload a media to the folder here, see your part folder, you just come down to this section and you click add media and you navigate to where the media is, and I downloaded it here on the desktop. And you can upload multiple media files simultaneously just by selecting multiple and clicking upload. Okay, and then if you click it shows you a preview of what you're about to upload. It does check for the file size and the dimensions of the file. We disallow files that are not 1920 by 1080 or 3840 by 2160. So 1080 or 4K files, okay? And then you click upload to confirm the upload. And now it is uploading, and now it is done. So we see here we have 4 files, 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got these names. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And since this is menu 1, of course, we want to put menu 1 into the playlist. You just drag it into the playlist. For some reason, I had 2 selected here. So to remove media from the playlist, you just select it and click this little minus button. And now there's only one piece of media in the playlist. If you wanted to create a slideshow, for example, you had on the menu here, let's say you had a food image in the bottom right-hand corner, and you wanted to cycle through a menu with those images changing, you could create 4 slides. And you could upload the 4 slides and then put those in the playlist, and it'll play those in succession and loop perfectly. So down here we have the duration of the slide. So since this is just one slide in the playlist, it's going to play for 8 seconds and loop. It's going to look seamless to you. If you had multiple images in the playlist, you could come in here and say, okay, I want to play that one for 8 seconds. I want to play this one for 9 seconds. I want to play next one for 12 seconds, etc. So the timing of the slides can be specified for each of the files. Okay, but in this case, we're keeping it simple for your initial deployment here, and we're just going to have one image per presentation. Okay, so what you see down here is a preview of what the presentation looks like. If this had multiple images in the presentation, you would see it switching. You can upload images or video. Again, video is also either 1080 or 4K. When you've arrived at a place where you want to save, you just click save here. Okay, and that saves the presentation. If you want to publish the presentation, meaning change it at the store, you click publish. And you have a few choices here. So publish now publishes to the units immediately, meaning you click publish and literally a second later, the store will change. Okay. The next choice that is relevant to you is publish later. Publish later allows you to publish in the future. For example, if you want to change your menus, but you're not changing your menu until let's say after the holiday, right? On the 5th, let's say at 6 a.m. You would specify a date and a time, and the menu would not change at the store until the specified date and time. And the last thing is, if you make a mistake and you're like, oops, we're not ready to go live, and we've already set this to publish and it's in the queue to be published in the future, and you want to cancel that, you would unpublish. Okay. So since the store is not even live, we'll publish now. Nothing's going to happen. The menus aren't live yet at the store. So you just click publish, and now you can see here it says you should receive an email in 5 minutes, and you will receive an email because I'm logged in as you. Okay. And then up here on the top right, you can see when this was last saved. For some reason, it says saved by Dave Brodowski. And then it says last publish July 3rd, which is today, a minute ago. So you can see that this has been published, and well, it was set to publish now, so it's virtually published immediately. Okay, so that's how you load media into the Finder down here, and how you add media to the playlist, and the preview, and how you publish and save. Okay, so now we need to repeat this for menu 2, 3, and 4. You just use the breadcrumbs up here to navigate back up one level. Okay, and it prompts you if you want to save. It's already saved. And you can go to sign number 2 and dive into that presentation. And then we'll go to 3 and 4. However, since the signs are already built, we don't actually have to go up to the sign level and then dive down into the presentation. You can go straight to the presentation right here by double clicking menu 2, presentation. So I'll double click that, and that takes us right into menu 2's presentation. And you just look for number 2, which is this one right here, drag that into the playlist, hit publish, publish now, and we're done. When you publish, it automatically saves. So there's no need to save the sign save the presentation and sign as I specified earlier. And then you just go back up one level. Sure, I'll save again. Menu 3 presentation. Drag that into the playlist, publish, publish now, and done. Back up one level. Presentation number 4. Drag that into the playlist, hit publish, publish now, and publish. Okay, so all of the presentations now have the media. They've been loaded into the presentation and published. And now when the units are installed at the store, connected to the internet and configured by Dave's team, the presentations will be loaded onto the units at the store. A couple notes on that. Since the units are running Menuboard Manager, those are commercial monitors. They're not televisions. They're commercial monitors, and they're running Menuboard Manager software. They download all of this content to local storage. So if you lose your internet connection, you still will have a menu up because it's playing all of the media from local storage. Okay, so that's how you would log in. Utilize the Finder to navigate to your correct folder, access the presentations that you want to update, upload media, and add those to presentations and publish.